Today, I have a really fun project that we're going to do. It's the first project I did when I realized what Claude could do with code. So this is a Claude Code project. The recipe was one weekend, just play around Claude Code to build two websites. And I was so beyond impressed by the results. They exceeded my wildest expectations. I'm the kind of person who, spends months tinkering with websites on Wix or Hostinger, or it doesn't matter the platform and how sophisticated they are. The websites, when you make them yourself and you're not a designer, always look a little off. But between the design skill, so the front end design skill of Claude Code, right here, super important if you want to build websites, and really in general, it's something that we'll talk about. And between that design capability that Claude now has, which it didn't used to have previously Claude compared to ChatGPT was, but from a design perspective, behind, like significantly behind. And I think that's when I started taking it seriously, when I started seeing the artifacts and the design actually being poured in. And so with the front end design skill, it makes a completely professional website something I could never achieve on my own. And of course, I'll keep improving it, but just the base at which you started, the speed of which you created, I could go around and offer small businesses with way worse websites to create them a website for a few hours. Well, essentially, it was a hackathon weekend. I was participating in a hackathon as motivation, not because I wanted to present my websites or I thought they would win the prize, but it was really, I'm going to commit this weekend to doing this and just really getting deep into Claude Code, how it works, which is what I did. So I started by, understanding how to set it up. It's a little more complex than it would be, Claude Cowork or Chat. You can also use it in the desktop. There is a desktop version of Claude Code, but I do prefer to use it in Visual Studio Code, but I'll show you both. So let's take a look first. We have the desktop version. So of course you have to have a paying plan and be a subscriber to Claude, and then you will download the app for the desktop right here. And the code terminal is already here. So you can work from here, you can create projects, etc. All the plugins and skills are here as well, but I don't do this like I do it through Visual Studio Code, which is a front-end UI for this purpose. So I'm going to close this, but know that you have it here. If you're more comfortable, you can work from here. You can toggle between chat, cowork, and code. So there's that advantage. If you want to go chat, you can go and look at your previous chats. And however, today we're gonna work from Visual Studio Code. If you don't have Visual Studio Code, you can download it. It's free. It's just a UI for exploring Claude Code, among other things. You will connect to Claude Code through here. If you go online before we do that and we look at Claude Code docs, what we have to do. Okay, so before we begin, we have to make sure to have a terminal prompt open. So that's on your computer, the terminal. If you don't know how to do that, you can just ask Claude to do it. I usually ask my kind of Siri or my Siri essentially to open it for me. So for example, I'll say now, Siri, open terminal, and there's a terminal. You can also open it through Visual Studio Code, but this is basically how IT people talk to your computer. And this is like the most intimidating part, I think, of using Claude Code. Once you understand that you can ask Claude Code anything to troubleshoot what you're doing, you don't have to worry about it so much. Like, you might not understand what you're doing 100%. I definitely don't, but I do understand enough to know how to keep going and to create something. So we need to start a code project. So we'll do that just after. And like I mentioned, you do have to have a subscription. I have Pro, definitely worth it. I would say if you're building any kind of apps, websites, you do need the $100 one a month. Otherwise, you're going to run out pretty quickly. So you have access to everything right now. In order to install it, install Claude Code on the terminal here for Mac, for example, you would copy this here and install it. So we would do this. I should already have it, so nothing should happen. It says that I already have it natively installed, but it works. Okay, so it's installed, and when you go to Visual Studio Code, If we go to, you can see here installed, but you can search extensions Claude Code and you will pick it and you will make sure it's the official one. Claude Code for VS Code, harness the power of Claude Code, and make sure that you install it. Mine is already added. You see the little check here, but if it isn't, you will click on install. And now we can actually open a folder. So let's open a folder of my current, one of my websites. You see a lot of files here. This is on the side where all the files are. All my blog posts. If you wonder how, you create blogs on a website that you've coded as opposed to having a Wix or a Shopify. I have a lot of reference images here. This is for my book website. And then I also have my other website that I wanted to gonna do as well, this one. So these are the two projects I have. The bigger one is this one. This is the one we'll focus on. And now if we go back to our infographic, we can see here that we need a few things before we get started. So we need product requirements. So no matter what you build, you need to tell the software engineer, in this case Claude Code, what to build. I started for my website thinking of my niche. I have two niches. I have a website that is my book website, Sovereign as Fuck, author and book info. Basically, I just need to build authority somewhere. So if I set up my book on Goodreads and places like that, there is an authority that this book exists and I exist as the author. So this was easy. I already had the book itself as the actual product requirement. It shows my voice. It shows like how I write because I wrote it from the beginning to end, the art in the book. So all that is there. However, the one that I really spend time on is for my small business AI coaching. For that one, I basically really went to the persona level. I narrowed down my niche. I then worked backwards and created a product requirement or a brand requirements document, which I will show you now. It's crazy. We start with so little and look at all these files. So I have my picture here, for example, for the website, just some things about me that I took from another coach. So I inspired myself from other websites, from other offers, from other small business AI coaches or just AI educators. And so I started with this AI services website document. So I'm going to go open it. You can see here, I'm basically outlining everything from A to Z. What's my brand foundation, positioning, my niche, SMB owners, founders and entrepreneurs, department leaders, operations leaders, core problems I solve. And this is based on, looking at my personas. So these are some of their feelings about AI, what they struggle with. So what is the solution? What is the transformation? The brand identity archetype, the voice, the vision, to create a world where leaders and employees don't fear AI. They confidently use it to unlock creativity, productivity, and human potential. AI should not replace people. It should empower them. And I believe that in small, AI will really empower business owners and to take back control of their time and to just make those boring, repetitive tasks go away. So you can actually do other things with your time and add value and have a work-life balance. All right, so mission to help organizations adopt an AI-first mindset with confidence by translating complex technology into simple, practical tools that teams can understand and adopt immediately. Through workshops, coaching, and storytelling, I help leaders and employees shift from AI anxiety to AI capability. That is the intention. So my core beliefs, the homepage structure, this actually comes from ChatGPT. I find ChatGPT really helpful with building up marketing related assets and research. But I did make both Claude and ChatGPT review it and give me its proposed website structure. About page, of course. And it doesn't copy paste this exactly. It's inspiration for it to do it. And then it uses, like I mentioned, the front-end design skill, which is very important. And then you can install. It's part of the plugins. So at this point, this is when I would install the front-end design skill. Once I've done with those requirements for the website, I won't go through all of this here, but achievements and any other pages you want. And then this is workshop options, so my products, my services. It created a really cool scorecard page. So this came from ChatGPT. Essentially, you're gamifying your website. People love gamifying things, and I actually over time added a few other free gamified tools, which we'll take a look at. So this is the whole scorecard, and these are the personas, the CTAs. These are the options for CTAs. My niche, we have here like really deep persona work, and that's enough. Okay, so now whenever you are ready with getting a project started, you create a folder. And in that folder, you put whatever documents need to be there. So I created a folder called AI Services Website, Brand Assets. And in here, I wrote everything that could have to do with the brand. If I had a logo, anything like that, it would be all in here. And so now I can tell it, okay, install the front-end design skill, and it will tell you what to do. It will absolutely tell you how to do it and what it needs from you, whatever skill you need to install. Now, using the front-end design skill and using at brand assets, etc. document, create the website in the requirements. And off it goes. And it does what it needs to do. Now, while it does that, what you can do is set up the tech stack that we need. Now, in terms of prerequisites, another important piece is the tech stack. We need Claude Code, which is what we just saw we're using. We need GitHub. This is where all code that goes live is in a repository, and it's a free account, so just open a free GitHub account. Then if you're going to gather, newsletter data or any kind of data responses, like I have the scorecard, then I'm going to need a place to do that. You can do that in Airtable, or you can do that in Supabase. Supabase right now is free because I barely use it. I think once it's not free anymore, maybe I'll do Airtable, but overall, Supabase is great if you're just starting. Vercel as well. This is where you would host the actual website. This is where you will connect your .com or whatever domain you have. So this is where we need to start. The other cool thing that I did that I recommend is you can always go to Dribbble. For design, if you have particular preferences and you want your website to look a certain way. For example, I did an author website search. This is Dribbble. This is where designers come to share their designs. Let's say I really love this style for my website, these cards, for example, or let's take a look. I remember I did use one from here. However, you see here, you have so many different layouts. You can see what works for you. So it doesn't look generic, and it will give you like, this one is beautiful. I didn't use this one, but this one I really like. So I would screenshot this, again, add it to that same folder where I have the brand assets saved. And then I would reference it and also use at this screenshot. Let's say it's this one. As a design influence. And off we go. So this is depending on how specific you want to make it. But some people don't care if they have a generic looking website. It depends on, if you're bringing in like a design edge or not compared to other people. All right, so let's review here. We have our stack, we have our assets. We now have to make sure we have the right plugins. Like I mentioned, the front-end design plugin, one is really useful, and a few other ones. Playwright is really important to make sure that everything is tested. And also you can create skills and install, like I did an SEO skill. I wanted to have a Hormozy style marketing skill. Like, overall, skills are probably what makes Claude Code and Claude Cowork stand out. So spend some time understanding them. I think it will take time for most of us to really understand skills and plugins because we're not used to it, but it's what really simplifies and makes this automation possible and quick building possible, because we are not making cookie cutter, copy paste. It all sounds the same AI products. And then the prompts were pretty simple once I had this like background information. I think the brand requirements are truly the most important, having the front-end design skill. And then we went with build me a full marketing website with all the pages in the document. Overall, we ended up with 78 commits, 15 pages, 10 blog posts, 4 lead magnets, and 1 automated content pipeline. This is something I did afterwards, but that's something I've been working on that I'm really happy with as well, the content pipeline automation. It took me 2 weeks to perfect, but I would say it's super worth it. Now, let's take a look at the websites. I'm going to start with my book one because it's easy peasy and fast. All right, so this is my website. You can take a free audit here and so on. You can find out more about me Here's where you can buy the book. And don't worry, I'm not trying to sell you my book. I'm just showing you this really quick website and really getting deeper into the book and so on. Book me to speak. This is my speaking page, and then I have a blog I need to add to it. All right, so this is one website, and then the second website is my small business AI coach website, which I'm very happy with. And all right, so you see here the hero. You can take the AI readiness scorecard. I can capture your email. It goes into Superbase. Otherwise, if you want to work with me, you can book a free diagnostic that links to my Calendly. I've trained 200 and plus entrepreneurs on AI and 500 plus years of technology over my career, of 20 years cross-functional business experience. I've touched many different industries, and I'm also an entrepreneur and author. 3 ways to get started. I have the free AI readiness scorecard, one-on-one diagnostic, also free, and then the workshops. Here's are my testimonials that I've trained, and this is an effect that I found on another website, 21 First Dev. Here you can actually come and inspire yourself. Let's see, why is it doing that? UI components. So you can pick a UI component for different things. For example, backgrounds, you see things move. So if you want that, then you can come here and you can copy prompt and you can paste that into Claude Code and say to apply it to, let's say, the hero homepage. And there's a lot of other types of things you can do. You can even, like I said, screenshot these if you like them. For example, for my blog post, actually, I really like this. I think I'm gonna ask it to just do something so simple because I really don't like the blog post page right now. It's really basic. Let's take a look. Yeah, I really don't like it. So, I mean, of course, you can see that sometimes the AI website will be kind of similar to all the other AI websites. I've noticed now the trend where they kind of all look the same. This is why I like going to Dribble or 21st Dev and making it a little more personalized. Up here, I have free Claude resources, the difference between Claude Chat, Cowork, and Code, the bottom line, when to use them, and then you can unlock a full interactive toolkit if you give me your email. And actually, I'm going to merge these, but we have more free tools in an AI ROI calculator, AI stack template, 5-day AI challenge. I've been making some changes, so that's why these need to be fixed. And then, of course, the most important is work with me. One thing that I find the least convenient of building websites with Claude Code is that there's no images. You have to go find the images. I think that's the one thing that platforms like, Wix or Shopify or Hostinger have built-in assets, like make a lot easier. But once I'm done changing the website, which is pretty much now, I'm going to go find some images and I'm going to make it a little more interactive in that sense. And there are other cool design elements I can do. I just don't want to spend time on that right now, but you can definitely spruce it up and make it different. Okay, so choose your starting point. So these are my different workshops, which I'm going to change too, but nevertheless, I did this really quickly. I haven't spent that much time on it once I had my requirements. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Now, if there's one thing I could have done differently, I'm thinking now, like, what would I have changed in the way I did things? Maybe I would have had more websites of competitors or similar AI educators. I did find some websites afterwards that I really liked, and now I'm thinking of definitely taking another look at. But overall, within a weekend, I had a functioning website, and now that whenever I look at websites online, I see so many opportunities for Claude coded websites in no time, because most websites are just informational. There's no login, there's no OAuth, nothing. So this is pretty easy for us to get into. And it's an easy product too. So now one of the things I keep thinking about is how do I offer, a way of selling websites for like $500 that are super modern and Claude supported with some like $50 a month maintenance, especially if it's low maintenance. It's not a big deal. I can definitely manage at least 20 websites easily and make some money. That's one of the ways I think I'm going to be leveraging Claude Code, is starting to sell some websites when I see the opportunity. Well, I think this is the perfect project to get started with Claude Code. I think this is easier than automating content. I did that as my next step, and I would say it definitely takes a lot longer to automate content than to just create a website. So if you want to just like create a website or an app, do it. Like a one-page app, a website should take you no more than a weekend. And whenever you don't know what to do, you just ask Claude Code, what do I do? You take a screenshot of an error or any kind of issue you have along the way, you screenshot it, you put it in the Claude Code chat right here, and it will tell you what to do. And that's literally where I spent like the most back and forth, was like on some of like integrations, but even setting up GitHub or setting up Vercel, it took 5 minutes. Getting the API keys, 5 minutes. It was so seamless, so fast, and Claude Code just keeps doing what it does. Like, subscribe, comment. I would love to know if that's something you'd be interested in doing. I definitely became addicted to Claude Code with the website hackathon, and I already am participating in 2 more hackathons by the end of the month. So once you get into this, it's definitely quite addictive. I have no tattoos, but I definitely will Claude Code for the foreseeable future.